This secret, a painful thorn I keep buried deep, continues to define my life even now. It's the story of a relationship that crosses every line of morality and blood, the one between my stepson and me. I know what I'm doing is devastatingly wrong, but this transgression is the only thing that brings color back to my empty soul. Ellie, I'm done. I have the board meeting at 7 a.m., remember? That sentence, always cold and swift, echoes again from my husband, Arthur Vance. And for the 1,000th time, I have to swallow the bitter disappointment, the same one I faced night after night in this luxurious brownstone on 72nd Street. Afterward, Arthur simply turns his back, completely indifferent to my unmet needs. This isn't new. For 5 years, every time I've fulfilled my duty as a wife, I've been left utterly unsatisfied. I, Eleanor Vance, 45, have no idea what else to do to claim my full rights, the raging desire that courses through my veins. Arthur, 55, a successful finance mogul, is a good man. He provides generously, even paying for my sister's college tuition. But in the most intimate aspects, he cannot match the fire that consumes me. The next morning, the aroma of gourmet coffee fills our quiet marble kitchen. I carry out my routine, a picture of the perfect wife. Ellie, I'm heading to the office. Oh, and prepare the guest suite, please. Leo is moving in temporarily this afternoon, Arthur said, adjusting his tie. My heart gave a nervous flutter. Leo Vance, Arthur's son from his first marriage, would be staying with us. Arthur explains that Leo, 25, a recent graduate, needed to stay for about 2 weeks while starting an internship in Midtown. It's closer to our place. Leo and I have always been distant, only seeing each other at major holidays. His mother passed away years ago. That afternoon, I cooked a lavish dinner. Soon, the familiar rumble of Leo's vintage muscle car was heard outside. Leo, how are you? How's the job hunt? I asked, trying to break the ice. I'm good, Eleanor. The internship is fine. How are you? He replied, polite but reserved. After dinner, Leo retreated to the guest suite. I found Arthur already in his mahogany-paneled study. Ellie, I have to work late. Too many proposals to review for the merger. That's fine, dear, I replied. But before turning to his paperwork, he gave me a look, the signal I'd learned to dread. Ellie, before I drown in paperwork, a quick distraction. And, as always, it took less than 5 minutes. He was done, leaving me stranded in a spiral of disappointment. Alone, I tried to distract myself with my phone until I eventually drifted to sleep. In the dead of night, I woke with a jolt. I felt a presence. Something was different. The movement that began felt powerful, energized, and far more intense than usual. I tried to open my eyes, but the room was pitch black. Arthur had turned off the lights. Strangely, instead of panic, a small smile touched my lips. I thought, Arthur must have felt guilty. Why the darkness, dear? I whispered, but heard no reply. Only heavy, focused breathing. My body soared with unexpected pleasure. This wasn't Arthur's usual hurried pace. This was slow, passionate, and thorough. I realized with growing astonishment that this was the first time I had ever been taken to the peak of pleasure before my partner was satisfied. The session went on and on. I lost track of time. When it finally ended, I fell asleep, exhausted but completely fulfilled. Morning came quickly. I rushed to the kitchen, eager to thank Arthur for the miraculous night. It hit me like a physical blow. My heart stopped when I found Arthur Vance still fast asleep on the sofa in his study, his briefcase spilled beside him. He hadn't even changed his clothes. Then who? Who was in my bed last night? A few minutes later, Arthur woke up. "Ellie, why do you look so pale?" I'm fine, dear," I managed, avoiding his eyes. I couldn't possibly ask him about last night. As I poured the coffee, my gaze fell on the hallway bathroom. Leo stepped out, his hair damp, the strong, unfamiliar scent of his musky sandalwood cologne wafting across the room. My memory screamed the truth. That scent, that intensity, could it have been Leo? I shook my head, fighting the insane, terrifying thought. Later, Arthur announced he was leaving for a long meeting and would be home late. That afternoon, I was watering the small herbs on the terrace when I felt a strong hand wrap around my waist from behind. "Leo, you're still here. I thought you were gone for the day," I gasped, twisting around. "Why, Eleanor, weren't we together last night? I thought we agreed." I staggered back, feeling the ground dissolve beneath me. The awful truth, the realization that my deep satisfaction came from my 25-year-old stepson, was staggering. "Leo, what are you talking about? I thought it was your father," I stammered, horrified. "Come on, Ellie, you were far too eager for that to be an accident," he countered, a hint of challenge in his voice. I ran to my room, tears streaming, a mixture of shock, shame, and undeniable, searing desire. Leo followed, trapping me against the door. "Wait, Eleanor, don't run. I know what you need, and I know what my father can't give you," he murmured, his hands tracing lines of fire across my back. I had to admit the truth. Leo possessed the fire and stamina I had always craved, something I had never found with Arthur. From that day on, life in the brownstone became a carefully orchestrated deception. Leo and I established a pattern, stealing moments whenever Arthur was distracted. We sought out secluded corners and whispered confessions. "Leo, what if Arthur finds out? This is dangerous," I warned him one evening, consumed by guilt. "If he finds out, I'll tell him the truth about your unhappiness. Besides, I love you, Eleanor." He insisted, the simple declaration melting my resolve. 2 weeks later, Leo moved back to his own apartment, but our bond was solidified. We maintained intense communication through encrypted messages. Then came the opportunity. Arthur announced a 4-week trip to the West Coast for a major acquisition. I immediately contacted Leo. A few days later, we met at a secluded Airbnb rental, our equivalent of the Seneca Hotel in Brooklyn. The plain, white room became a sanctuary, a silent witness to the raw intimacy that unfolded. We forgot our titles, our roles, and the consequences. To this day, my life is no longer empty. I know I've crossed every boundary imaginable, but I cannot deny the fulfillment and passion Leo has reignited in me. The 4 weeks passed, filled with stolen moments and escalating risk. Arthur returned, appearing exhausted but observant. "Ellie, you look radiant," he commented, his voice flat. "Must be all that solo yoga." He wasn't fooled. His questioning became subtle but persistent. One morning, Arthur announced he had to fly back to the West Coast to finalize the paperwork, a trip he said would last another 2 weeks. "I'll leave this afternoon. My assistant will drive me straight to JFK." I watched his car disappear, waiting a full 45 minutes before sending the urgent text to Leo. "Ellie, he's gone. Come now, I need you. Leo arrived swiftly. We retreated to the bedroom, the urgency of our need overpowering all caution. We were in the middle of our private world when a loud, unexpected sound echoed from downstairs, a key turning in the front door lock. My blood ran cold. It can't be him. His flight is hours away, I whispered, scrambling to cover myself. We managed to dress just as the bedroom door, left unlocked in our haste, swung open. There stood Arthur Vance. His face was not twisted in rage, but in cold, devastating emptiness. His eyes scanned the room, stopping instantly on Leo's leather jacket draped carelessly over a chair. Eleanor. Arthur's voice was unnervingly calm. I lied. I didn't go anywhere. I just wanted to see what would happen if I left the garden unattended. Leo stepped out from behind the dressing screen, his face pale but defiant. Dad, Leo stated simply. Arthur's gaze shifted between the jacket, the rumpled sheets, and the two of us. So this is the fulfillment you craved, Ellie. A betrayal cultivated right here, under my roof. The game was over. The forbidden garden had been exposed. The cost of my happiness was about to be revealed.